The results are coming in for the first primary of the year.
You got paper, you're going to get paper jams. It happened, without discrimination everywhere across the county.
The scene now set in several key races.
We have got to get past the incompetence, the corruption, and the cruelty of Greg Abbott.
The first election held under the state's new voting law.
Plus, the president gives his first State of the Union address.
We meet tonight in an America that has lived through two of the hardest years this nation has ever faced.
Our team coverage on KHOU 11 News at 10 starts right now. It is primary night in Texas, the first primary in the country, and we're watching the results come in. Tonight, candidates battling against members of their own party for a chance to make it onto the November ballot.
The November election will determine who gets elected into office. And all night long, we've had crews watching all the races that matter to you on the local and state level, as well as issues at polling locations.
Adam Bennett kicking off our team coverage tonight at Harris County Election Central. That's in Northwest Houston.
That is where the county is responding to a report from the state that results could be delayed, Adam.
Well, Mia, the Texas Secretary of State says that Harris County will not report its primary results within the legal deadline of 24 hours after the polls close. But the elections administrator here is downplaying some of the reasons behind that claim. This all centers around the new voting machines that Harris County is using during this primary. They print out a scannable paper ballot. Elections Administrator Isabel Longoria says that Harris County is the only one in Texas with such a lengthy ballot that it requires 2 pieces of ballot paper. She says that led to some paper jams and tears that flagged those ballots for further review.
When you put that first piece of paper in, sometimes people got too excited and tried to put that second sheet of paper right in, and it smudged it a little bit. What that means is our election equipment is so sensitive to secure the integrity of the election that even a speckle, even a small smudge says, you know what, hold off, put that in what we call our reserve or emergency ballot box, and let the judges later make sure that nothing was compromised on that ballot so that it can be duplicated, replicated, and counted again.
And Longoria said both Republicans and Democrats review each of those reserve ballots. She assured me everyone's vote will count. Now, some Republicans are criticizing Harris County, with Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick accusing them of, in his words, crashing election results in Texas. I spoke with Longoria moments ago. She says that those early results have already been posted. Today's votes are being counted, and she says she will let the facts speak for themselves. Back to you.
All right, a little bit of a hiccup tonight. Thank you, Adam. Now let's get to the race for Texas governor. Governor Greg Abbott celebrating an easy victory, punching his ticket to November. You see the numbers there. Abbott with 68% in the Republican primary.
Melissa Correa is at Governor Abbott's watch party in Corpus Christi tonight. Melissa.
Hey there, Mia. Governor Greg Abbott just taking the stage, now beginning to address supporters as his re-election campaign moves into the next stage. The Republican incumbent will face off against Democrat Beto O'Rourke in November. In order to get there, Abbott took on 7 other Republican opponents today. Those challengers have been critical of Abbott's handling during the pandemic and the state's failures during last year's deadly freeze. Here in Corpus Christi, the district attorney just took a stand against the governor, who was targeting some parents of transgender children in Texas. And yet here we are tonight along the Gulf Coast with the USS Lexington in the background, the World War II naval aircraft carrier, a Texas landmark, glowing in the background as the governor addresses supporters. They have come in from every corner of Texas, including the Rio Grande Valley, which has held Abbott's attention as he continues to lead a state-level response to border security. With tonight's Republican primary win, it is now on to November as Governor Greg Abbott continues to ramp up his campaign to hold on to power. Back to you.
We'll pick it up from here. Thank you so much, Melissa Correa. Let's turn to the Democratic challenger for Governor Abbott, Beto O'Rourke, who also had an easy victory tonight. You can see with 92% of the vote. That's with 54% of precincts reporting tonight.
Xavier Walton is at O'Rourke's election night rally. He's up in Fort Worth. Xavier, a party tonight.
Yeah, and the celebration is still going on. I tell you what, hundreds of Democrats came out here to see one person in particular. We're talking about Beto O'Rourke. And he is the man that everyone is waiting in line right here to get a picture with. He's the Democrat running to be the next governor of Texas. Now, he touched on a lot of topics tonight. Energy and public education got the loudest applause. He also took shots at Governor Greg Abbott, but he knows he and his campaign have an uphill battle.
Most campaigns will keep those volunteers in reserve until the summer or the fall. We're deploying them now because we do not have a second to spare given what we're up against. So we're going to have to increase the number of volunteers, increase the pace of their contacts, and then we've got to run the most aggressive, vigorous campaign you have ever seen.
And after he spoke with media, he took pictures with supporters, lots of families, different generations, different walks of life. He is still taking pictures right now. He said tonight he's going to stay here in battleground Tarrant County, and then tomorrow he's going to be heading back to El Paso, where he and his campaign are going to get back to work. In Fort Worth, Xavier Walton, KHOU 11 News.
Thank you so much, Xavier. Let's get you caught up now on two of the other biggest races in this state. Up first, the office for Lieutenant Governor, the Lieutenant Governor second in command in the state of Texas. The Lieutenant Governor also commands the Texas State Senate. The incumbent here, Republican Dan Patrick, 78%. He is the nominee for the Republican Party for Lieutenant Governor. He moves ahead and advances to November. No surprises here. Let's give you a snapshot now on the Attorney General's race. A very competitive race. You can see here from the numbers, we have Republican incumbent Ken Paxton being challenged by Texas Land Commissioner George P. Bush, following him with 21% of the vote. Former Texas Supreme Court Justice Eva Guzman with 19% of the vote tonight, and Congressman Louis Gohmert with 17% of the vote. Now, all three of these candidates, all opponents, but all agree that some integrity needs to be brought back to the office of Attorney General amid Ken Paxton's legal troubles. However, Paxton has the support of friend and former President Donald Trump. If you notice, these numbers here are very close. You need 50% in order to avoid a runoff. Now, with more details about how that runoff would work and a closer look at the numbers, let's turn to our Grace White in the newsroom tonight. Grace?
Mia, here's what's interesting. You look at those statewide results that you were just mentioning, Paxton #1, Bush #2, but you zoom in closer to Harris County specifically, that all starts to change. Paxton's still on top, but Guzman now moves into that second position at 30%. And every time you see the screen flash here, that's just a live refresh. So we're getting live numbers into our big board. But if you click around to different counties, you can see things start to change. So here in Montgomery County, Paxton's still on top, but Gohmert at 18%. So Gohmert doing well, or better, as we should say, in Montgomery County. But then you go down to Fort Bend, Guzman moves back up. So it's interesting to see these results coming in county by county. It's a close race, as Mia mentioned, and we'll keep watching it throughout the night. Let's look now at the Democratic side. In Harris County specifically, Garza on top for Attorney General, Jaworski in second place at 26%. And that is also ringing true with the statewide results at this moment. Garza on top for the Democrats, Jaworski #2. The top two in this race, if no one gets to 50%, will also go to a runoff. Mia.
All right, Grace, I'll pick it up. Thank you. After redistricting, Texas has 2 new congressional districts because of explosive population growth. One of them is District 38. District 37 is in the Austin area, but 38 covers River Oaks to West Houston and stretches all the way up to Tomball. 10 Republicans are on the ballot for this race, as well as 3 Democrats. It's a big crowd. Janelle Bluter joins us with a look at this race. Janelle?
Yeah, guys, right now it looks like there may be a runoff for Democrats, but Republican candidate Wesley Hunt is currently leading his party with more than 50%. Now, Juergens Hall Community Center in Cypress was very busy today. That last voter didn't leave until around 8:30. It's part of District 38, one of Texas's new districts. The first District 37 is in Austin and is overwhelmingly Democratic, while District 38 in Houston is solidly Republican, which is why if Hunt takes this nomination, his chances of winning are very high. And it's why political experts say the primary election could be more important than the November race. But whoever wins tonight, this voter says he's going to hold them accountable.
this is for what, 2 years. After 2 years, I'm back again, okay? And I'm the person that I'm gonna look and I'm gonna hold them to the fire. I said, okay, you promised this, and if you don't deliver, I'm done.
Well, there's still a lot of votes left to be counted, so stay with us for those results. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Janelle Baluta, reporting for us. Now let's take a look at a few other congressional races in our area. District 2 stretches from East Harris County up to Kingwood and over to the Woodlands. It is currently held by Republican Representative Dan Crenshaw. And you can see in this race, Crenshaw with the clear lead, him being the Republican incumbent here with 76% of the vote tonight.
Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher defending her seat, that's District 7, now stretching into Fort Bend County. She's running unopposed on the Democratic side. However, several Republicans are hoping to challenge her in November. Here are the top two. That is Johnny Teague, is a businessman, along with Tim Stroud. He is an Army veteran. They could be heading for a runoff, 45% to 29%.
Now let's check on District 8, which has been held by Republican Congressman Kevin Brady since 1997 and represents parts of Cypress up to Conroe and over to Livingston. He is retiring after 25 years, Congressman Brady is, so his seat is wide open, and it looks like with 54% of the vote, Morgan Luttrell leads here in U.S. House District number 8 with the Republican nomination.